So many beautiful things happen and breakthroughs happen in your health when you start to prioritize muscle and you shift your focus from burning as many calories as possible. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Cara and I'm a nurse, an educator, and I help people heal their gut and lose weight in a sustainable and effective way. If you've been watching my videos for a while, you know that I used to have bulimia for about 11 years, and I asked God one year for strategy to help me heal, and he brought me to healing my gut and changing my nutrition. And so for about 5 years now, I'm coming up on my 6th anniversary of being healthy. If you are pre-diabetic or diabetic, I want you to tune to just every single element that I discuss in this video because it's incredibly critical for you. During that time, I was actually diagnosed as pre-diabetic, and so the things that I'm going to share in this video and all the other things also on my channel are really useful and impactful for somebody who's also struggling and looking for the solution that might be most effective for them. So at the time before I was healthy, I knew that I was hanging on to about 40 pounds more than what my body really needed. And so what I was struggling with was also body image and just the mental idea of being heavy. I think that having an eating disorder is kind of, it's one of those really sticky situations where, you know you want to be healthy, you want to heal, but at the same time, you really don't know how. You don't know how to not lean on your disorder, which is also an addiction, which causes you to kind of feel triggered in so many different areas of your life. So in this video, I want to honor where you are at in your journey. And if you are still if you are in an active struggle or in the middle of recovery, we are going to be talking about macros, weight, and changing your nutrition and changing your body. So if this is something that might not be honoring to you at the point that you are at in your healing, I just click off this video, and I've got some other videos that might be more helpful for you in the stage that you're at. Back into 2018, what I was initially talking about, I ended up changing my nutrition. I followed a gut healing protocol and also more of a low carb ketogenic protocol that just felt really natural. The foods that are included in those strategies nutritionally were actually really satisfying. They were the ones that I was restricting. So I was naturally feeling really satisfied with those foods, and that's why eating this way was really helpful and actually effective for me to be able to lose the weight that I did. It was because my body went into a state of ketosis, and that actually allowed my body to burn body fat for energy while I was in a caloric deficit. Although I never counted or did any sort of counting of anything, it was just really natural for me to feel full and satisfied, and I think my body was also going through a lot of the fuel that it had stored on my body. So it was just in a state where it was feeling natural for me, and that's why it worked so much. But after a couple years on the ketogenic diet or the low carb protocol that I was doing, I discovered that I was kind of just ready to bring more of every kind of food back into my life. And I was also experiencing some hair loss and stuff that I wanted to see if I could just correct it by being on a more balanced, natural, more of a regular diet. I wanted to see if I could correct that by bringing back carbohydrates and getting some more vitamins kind of just back in my diet. Maybe I was missing something and I just wanted to kind of uncover that. And I was also starting to strength train, and I needed that glucose from the carbohydrates to help fuel my workouts because my muscles were just kind of hitting a wall really early into the workout, and that just wasn't working for me to complete what I was looking to accomplish with my exercise and my workout strategy. I ended up gaining probably like 10 pounds back from what I was at my lightest. And so I was like, oh, okay, let me just try to get back down, because I was still considered overweight at my lightest weight that I ever was after my recovery. And so I kind of started asking these questions like, okay, well, how can I get my weight to be more of like a better place for my height? I'm on the shorter side, so it's reached a point in my recovery where I knew that I was at a healthier place. So being at a higher weight, I was able to tolerate it, and eventually I came to this point where I was connecting with this desire to look a little bit more athletic, toned, and be at a lighter weight. I kind of had always seen women that looked like that and had just this really healthy relationship with food, exercise, and I wanted that for myself. And so I wanted to embark on this journey of what would it take to get there? And so this video is going to be about how I ended up losing 13 more pounds. I'm really excited about how sustainable and how enjoyable this feels, and so that is the focus I want to just call forward. I want this to be very helpful in terms of maybe shedding some light on maybe looking at working out and working towards your goals in a more enjoyable way, like kind of falling in love with the process instead of like looking at it like, oh, something that I have to do, because we all know that the quick fix solutions are not getting us where we want to be long term. We're probably gaining the weight back. We're probably not much healthier, and it's just not working out for us. So I want to share with you what did work for me. I'm going to be sharing with you 4 things that helped me drop 13 more pounds and helped me be able to do things sustainably so I can actually continue going on this journey and reach my goals, but also enjoy it in the process. So the first thing is strength training, and you're probably not super surprised to hear that. Maybe some of you know that when you have muscle mass, your body metabolism actually increases. So your basal metabolic rate is how many calories your body burns just to stay alive when you're laying still doing nothing. So our metabolism is comprised of energy that we burn from exercise, digesting food, and then like fidgeting, doing cleaning, things like that, and also just laying there, like sleeping, doing nothing. If we laid there all day and just didn't lift a finger, if we didn't do anything, didn't eat, our body has this basal metabolic rate, a certain amount of calories that it burns. So when you actually increase your muscle mass through strength training, you can increase that basal metabolic rate, meaning that you burn more calories at rest, and you have to somehow maintain that muscle mass by eating more. And also you want to grow it and keep it by stimulating it through workouts. I was strength training about 3 times a week initially, but then I really started to notice results when I did 4 days of strength training for 45 minutes. And then I added in a high intensity workout day. So that was like a 30-minute workout where I was doing more like cardio and strength workouts in the same workout. I did hire a trainer for this because I wanted to get it right, and everything just kind of aligned for me to kind of know that I was going to be able to put the effort forward that was needed to be able to accomplish the goal and make it worth it to hire the trainer. So that was that's also really important to mention. I also walked about 10,000 steps a day. Sometimes I didn't walk that far. Sometimes I only walked 6,000 or 5,000, but what I was really trying to nail down was a consistent routine of walking. The third thing that I did was I shifted my perspective from burning as many calories as possible to being able to get that muscle mass in order, keep the muscle mass, and have that basal metabolic rate that was faster, so I didn't have to worry about burning off what I ate. I think that mindset can really get us into a stuck point where we're just like on a rat wheel and we don't enjoy what we're doing. I think that can actually get our bodies into a state where we're more stressed out. Strength training actually is anti-inflammatory because components called myokines are actually released from muscle tissue when you work them out. So it's super incredible how something so simple can be anti-inflammatory and nurture our body's stress response. The fourth thing that I did was I started focusing on reaching a macronutrient and calorie goal, mainly focusing on protein. The reason for this is because when you are working out your muscles and your strength training multiple times a week, your muscles actually need enough amino acids and nutrients to be able to repair themselves so they can grow. And so when you are able to meet that protein requirement, you won't feel as sore. You will notice muscle growth and progress, and this will actually make being in a caloric deficit more sustainable also, because protein is really satiating. So when you can eat enough, you don't feel as hungry and you don't feel that crazy thing that, like, I think a lot of us understand what that feels like, where we're cutting our calories down, we're putting ourselves into caloric deficit. But if you're just counting calories and you're not having a strategy around eating enough protein, personally, I think that sets you up to fail. If you really want to reach a body recomp goal, you probably won't get very far and you'll feel really sore, or you'll just feel like you're craving a lot and you'll just kind of maybe feel more inclined to binge eat, and that's just counterproductive to being on a sustainable journey. So we want to make sure that eating enough is happening. It's interesting because, like, being in a caloric deficit, a lot of people, they tend to kind of think like, oh, is that even good for you? Some of us do need to be in a caloric deficit because we are not in a healthy weight range, but you have to have the right strategy when you're using a caloric deficit so you're making the most of your time. When you're eating enough protein and your body is in a caloric deficit, your body can actually start using fat for fuel because it's in a deficit, but you're giving it enough nutrients for the muscle to maintain while you're strength training. So this conversation is kind of defines what a body recomp would look like. And then I first started working out 4 times a week, I was actually pretty nervous because in the past I had done it, but I didn't have a strategy around protein, so I was really sore a lot of the time. and that made it so it was really hard to keep going. And so this is why I'm pointing out to you what I did differently and why it was so helpful, because I feel like a lot of people are unaware of this and it's really sabotaging them, because it was certainly sabotaging me. And to tie it all up, I did all these things consistently, so I made it possible in my schedule to be able to consistently do these things based around my work schedule, what else I have going on. Because if you are doing the right things but you can't be consistent, it's kind of like your efforts are rendered useless and you're wasting your time. It's just really hard to keep going when you're fail over and over again. It's harder to get started sometimes again. So it's really important to find out what is your level of commitment that you can do consistently, and kind of work something out that will work with your schedule, because when you can get there, you can pretty much become unstoppable, because it's going to be more sustainable for you. So if you've gotten this far and you're wondering, how do I start putting my feet forward in front of each other, actually formulate these things into a schedule and learn what I need to learn, I actually released a book called Weight Loss Revamp. I wrote that this year and it's now available on Amazon. I've got a 4-week plan in there to help you succeed at doing these things, and I explain things in a much more in-depth way than even I did in this video. So you definitely want to go pick up a copy of that on Amazon, a paperback, a hardcover, or an ebook, if you are interested in making this change for yourself and actually reaching a sustainable place of weight loss, or in this case, fat loss. So we want, yes, we do want to weigh less, but we don't want it to come from anywhere but our fat tissue, which we know can be unhealthy and inflammatory. So if you are interested in losing weight in a sustainable fashion and maintaining, building muscle, and reaping all the benefits that having muscle tissue can bring your life, I invite you to check that out. I will be putting that link below in the description. And so many beautiful things happen and breakthroughs happen in your health when you start to prioritize muscle and you shift your focus from burning as many calories as possible and doing all these hours on the treadmill or running and stuff, when your life can focus more around muscle and building that muscle mass that can actually help support your blood sugar, your gut, reduce inflammation. Things start to change and transform, and your energy level is just so much higher. And I want that for everyone. Like, I want everyone to be informed about this, and so that's why I put this all into a book and put it into a 4-week plan so it can be easily followed and implemented, and then people are not confused, because I feel like we've been confused for way too long. And a lot of us are wasting our time at this point, and it's time for it to stop. It's time for us to do what actually works. It's time to do things that are effective and figure out how this fits into our lives. So if that is you and you are interested in that, definitely check out the book, and I will see you in a future video. Bye.